Live, Work, Stay Hawaii. Readiness Starts Here is brought to you by P3I, the Pacific Intelligence Innovation Initiative.
Aloha, I'm Jason Chung, co-chair of the Pacific Intelligence Innovation Initiative, or P3I. P3I is a public-private partnership dedicated to strengthening U.S. Department of Defense readiness by developing a highly skilled workforce in IT, cybersecurity, intelligence, electronic warfare, and data science. These fields are essential to Hawaii and to U.S. strategic influence in the Indo-Pacific region. The demand for skilled professionals is growing. P3I addresses the evolving needs of the DoD, helping ensure the U.S. military remains agile, resilient, and capable in an increasingly complex global landscape. By strengthening the workforce, P3I contributes to economic stability and keeps critical DoD resources in Hawaii, supporting national defense and local communities. Backed by Hawaii's congressional delegation and sponsored by the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering, P3I unites public, private, and academic partners. Learn more at hawaiip3i.org.
Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard is Hawaii's largest industrial employer, with a civilian workforce of more than 5,000 employees. But its legacy of skilled labor in Hawaii is evolving into high-tech careers in cyber, data science, IT, and intelligence within the Department of Defense.
Opportunities in these fields are changing the long-held belief that high-paying careers in Hawaii are limited. Not anymore. High-tech jobs in Hawaii now outnumber jobs available at Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard. Tonight, we'll meet some talented Hawaii residents who have built or are seeking successful careers in the defense sector, and we'll explore how today's workforce is shaping Hawaii's future. Kaipo Kroll proudly served at Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard for 38 years before his retirement 3 years ago.
Yeah, the legacy I remember about Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard is just how dedicated and prideful the people were and are.
Kroll was hired as a nuclear engineer and eventually rose in the ranks to a senior executive.
The last 6 years of my career, I was selected in the senior executive service. And when I became that senior executive, you become just more responsible for everything. The people were my most important responsibility. That was the first time any local person became the senior executive at the shipyard. I was really proud of that.
Kroll spent his career working alongside fellow engineers who developed plans to repair, upgrade, and maintain nuclear and conventional powered naval ships. He also worked with skilled technicians and journey workers.
Oh, we have so many trades, from machinists to riggers to sandblasters.
But early on, qualified shipyard employees were often recruited from the mainland because of the limited talent pool in Hawaii at the time. The creation of the apprenticeship program in 1920 changed all that. The program began with 2 students, but during World War II, the numbers swelled to hundreds of apprentices per class. Since 1924, more than 6,400 men and women have graduated from the apprenticeship program, giving thousands of Hawaii residents the opportunity to train, work, earn a good living, and raise their families at home.
We are fortunate in the shipyard. We have, thousands of people putting in for the apprentice program for only a few hundred positions. So we get the cream of the crop. We get the brightest talent comes to the shipyard, excited, challenging us to do things different, to do things better. As I look back on my career, we've always had local grown talent. And I've seen a transition where this local grown talent started stepping up into leadership positions, wanting to make a change, wanting to make a difference.
Just as the shipyard once represented job security and career growth, today the intelligence, IT, and cyber workforce is Hawaii's next frontier. And P3I, the Pacific Intelligence and Innovation Initiative, is paving the way for Hawaii's next generation to fill the growing demand for a skilled workforce in Hawaii's Department of Defense and its intelligence sector in cybersecurity, IT, data science, and intelligence.
And we start young in the grade schools, move them up to the high schools, and then through colleges, just to train them for those careers that we need in the future. Now we're projecting what kind of jobs we need here, what are the needs of the Department of Defense, and let's go grow the local talent here to stay here in Hawaii to fill those jobs.
U.S. Army Pacific plays a very pivotal role in assuring that our military is ready and fully prepared to respond to the emerging threats posed by our adversaries and our opponents in the Indo-Pacific region. The Indo-Pacific region has been deemed as the priority theater in accordance with our national defense strategy. So programs like P3I are so important, right? Because they are developing the talent, developing the workforce by basically building and sustaining a workforce that provides immediate access to high demand skill sets like information technology, cybersecurity, to meet these future demands before they outpace the availability of these skill sets that are required.
As a retiree witnessing the evolution of the DoD workforce, Kroll has some advice for young people considering careers in this field.
I always tell them, try to be a continuous learner. Learn about different things. Be creative. Be innovative. Go find out about programs like P3I. Find mentors. Just continuously grow and try things out. Take risks. One thing that I've learned about, especially back in my days, we didn't want to take risks because we didn't want to fail. But nowadays, these young leaders, these future leaders, they'll take risks and they'll learn from their failures.
Kroll is excited about the endless opportunities that lie ahead for Hawaii's youth, and he's grateful for the rewarding career he has had with the Department of Defense.
That was like a family business for me. The people I worked with they're my family. I still keep in touch with them. So I think what I'm most proud of is how we took care of business by still being family and holding each other accountable to do what's right for the mission. And I enjoyed that challenge, you know, the hard work, the challenge, but I enjoyed the people more. And that's what I miss the most. So to me, I lived the dream. I stayed home in Hawaii, I raised my family in Hawaii, and I worked at a place where we had an important mission with great people. So it's just awesome.
And Kaipo Kroll wishes the next generation the same good fortune that he's enjoyed, and we'll be watching as young people entering today's workforce have more opportunities than ever before in high-tech industries and the Department of Defense.
23-year-old Zoe Mills looks like any young 20-something who loves computer games. But the University of Hawaii engineering graduate is a data scientist working and living in Honolulu.
Well, I grew up in a tech family, and I grew up in Seattle, and so the tech industry is really big.
Her parents moved from Canada to Seattle for that reason. Mills' mother worked for Microsoft, her dad for Microsoft, Amazon, and then Snapchat. Mills' birthday presents were Legos and robotics kits instead of dolls.
And I would go to a bunch of summer camps that involved coding and building robots. I would build games and websites, and so that's how I got interested.
In high school, she was the rock star of the robotics team.
And I was 3D modeling for them, and they would give me parts, and then I would make it virtually so we could see if it would fit within the build.
So it would make sense that she'd apply to college in Seattle, home to the world's largest tech giants. But nope, she wanted something different, and instead chose the University of Hawaii at Manoa's engineering program. She settled into electrical engineering, and in her junior year, secured an internship with a company called Booz Allen, a management and information technology consulting firm with 80 offices around the world.
It was advertised as summer games, that's what they call the internship. And for me, I just was like, oh, I like games. So I applied and somehow got it.
To her surprise, a couple of months into her internship, Booz Allen offered Mills a job after graduation.
I got a return offer, and so then I had job security going into my senior year, which was really great because then I didn't have to stress about, oh, like when I'm graduating, like what's my timeline, like do I need to go get a job? That doesn't relate to my major right out after college, so I had that security, and also I got to be able to stay on island, which I didn't know if that was going to be a possibility, especially for the tech industry. It's not huge out here, that's what I thought, but actually there's a lot of tech opportunities, especially in the defense industry.
the defense industry, where the demand is high in Hawaii for skilled professionals in data science, cybersecurity, IT, intelligence, and electronic warfare.
I work for the Air Force and I help drive their data initiatives. So I help them strategize data, how to utilize data. And so I just make sure that their data is really great, because if you don't have good data and then you try and put that into a brief, then you can make a bad decision. And so we try and get the most accurate information that we can as fast as we can. And yeah, that's what I do. And it's really rewarding. You get to solve problems every day, and the problems change every day, and you don't know what you're going to walk into work doing, but I personally like that because it's fun.
Mills realizes she is fortunate to have had a clear pathway from college to her career.
I do have some peers that couldn't find a job after college and they had to go find a job that did not apply to their major, but I also do have peers that went to Boeing or they went to Amazon or to Silicon Valley jobs, but I would say I haven't heard of that many people getting tech jobs here, and I think that that's because they're not aware that the opportunities are there.
Mills encourages local young people interested in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math to look into the many high-paying careers within the Department of Defense in Hawaii that are currently available or will be available in the future.
The opportunities for Department of Defense jobs, they are at the career fairs a lot. I think that they just get overlooked because people think, oh, it's the military, I don't want to enlist. But you don't necessarily have to enlist. You can contract.
And Mills says contracting allows you to work on a variety of different projects.
At Booz Allen, I've worked on multiple different projects. I started in cybersecurity, then I went to data analytics, and now I'm more in research development. So you can really choose your own pathway if you go to contracting.
And Mills says the opportunity at Booz Allen has allowed her to start her high-tech career in Honolulu, where she wanted to remain after graduation.
I knew that it was a good decision because not only did I get to stay on island, I was going to have income that would support me staying on island.
And at Booz Allen, Mills has a variety of training opportunities to further her career.
Great thing about Booz Allen too is that they don't just provide me a job, they provide me a career, and it's kind of like a choose your own adventure. They give me upskilling opportunities and training opportunities. They not only just invest in you just for the job, but also for your career in the future. My career managers, my bosses, they all support me taking training, and also Booz Allen offers me money, so I'm actually going to go back to get my master's. And they support a balanced lifestyle so that I can do my master's while still having my job. So it was a really great opportunity for me after college. And it worked out perfectly because I get to stay here and I get to do what I want.
And although Mills is uncertain what her future holds, she knows the opportunities for her are endless within the Department of Defense and with her current employer.
Another great thing about Booz Allen is that they're a global company with local roots, and they're here to support the local community and upskill the young talent that we have on island. There's a lot of opportunity, and it's inspiring for me. They are really invested in the youth of Oahu.
A few miles away at the University of Hawaii's College of Engineering in Manoa, students are preparing for careers similar to Zoe Mills. Sean Umeda is a senior graduating this semester with a Bachelor of Science degree in computer science. He became interested in the field of national security while taking an engineering class and hearing from representatives of the intelligence community.
I thought it was really great that they were just so happy with being a part of that project, being part of something bigger than themselves. And I thought that really resonated with me. Having that opportunity to give back to the community, give back to, like Hawaii, protecting Hawaii, and also just the nation, is something that's really important to me.
Students like Umeda are receiving real-world experience in Engineering 401 with instructor Jeff Hui.
So the course is a real-world course. We bring in projects from the private sector, from the defense sector, and public sector. There are real-life problems that the students work on, and their job is to create a solution for that problem by the end of the semester. That's also what it makes the class unique. It is an internship. The projects are actually deployed and used in the work setting afterwards, it's not academic at all. It's an entrepreneurship class. So I want them to learn problem solving. Can you take something that's soft and squishy and vague and actually create a solution out of that? There's no textbook here. These are difficult problems that are open-ended and hard to solve. Can you take that and create a solution?
The programs often work directly with the Department of Defense.
They actually bring the problems to us. And so in the past, we've worked on things like how do we do better air safety for the Army, or how do we create a software project for the Air Force. We work on the solution and we give it back to them, and they actually use it afterwards. Yeah. And then also, a lot of them will then take the students and say, hey, we'd love to hire the students that worked on this and actually employ them as well. So the DoD partners get both an actual software or physical solution to their problem, and they get access to great students to hire afterwards.
Having that experience, being able to work on an actual, real-world problem is an amazing experience that I'll be able to carry into, future jobs. And especially wanting to go into like a defense or national security job, I want to carry that experience and build off it.
What excites me the most is, I want to bring more economic opportunity to my students. I really want them to have better jobs and better futures. And I know that technical careers are great careers. So I want to prepare them for those technical careers and just provide better life outcomes for them. I think as a whole, we're always trying to diversify our economy here. So to provide more technical jobs as a whole for the economy and for the population is a great solution. And any part that my class can do, that I can do to help, that's my goal.
Hawaii is really making itself known, and our engineering graduates, our local kids, are really driving that effort.
Brennan Morioka, the dean of UH Manoa's College of Engineering, says more and more of his engineering students are taking the DoD pathway from classroom to career.
It's so important to Hawaii to have these kinds of pathways for our local kids. We appreciate that relationship that we have with Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard and the Department of Defense, because many of our graduates go on to work for many of the different defense agencies. And what's really important here is there's so much opportunity. The Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard would actually hire more of our graduates if we graduated more engineers. So that's one of the things we're working on.
Morioka says the connection with the DoD helps the College of Engineering better prepare its students with the skill sets required for the job opportunities ahead.
We can only prepare our students based on what we know, where the needs are, the skill sets. And so having that kind of communication, understanding where the demands are going, where they are today and where they're going to be tomorrow. And that's how we can then translate that to the kinds of curriculum or educational experience that we impart on our students.
That experience and the engineering opportunities available today are vastly different from what they were a few years ago.
What excites me a lot these days is just the diversity of opportunity. Back in the day, it really, you either went into civil engineering or you went into traditional electrical or mechanical, doing air conditioning kind of stuff. But now it's really kind of gravitated to much more technology and innovation. And so that's where we find a lot more excitement, not just here at the college, but amongst our students, because the kinds of opportunities is really growing.
Opportunities to work for the DoD and the Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard of the 21st century.
It's really that ability for being a part of a larger mission and being able to contribute to Hawaii. Almost every family has someone working at the Naval Shipyard, whether they're a technician, an engineer, an accountant, whatever it is. And so the University of Hawaii has to play that important role, and the College of Engineering does. We try and do our part in really trying to educate our students, educate our high schoolers on what those opportunities are and on how they really can contribute in a variety of ways. But the shipyard is one of the real great opportunities for engineering students to really make a career for themselves here in Hawaii. And they don't just have to go to the mainland to kind of experience new and innovative, cutting edge kinds of technologies. They have it right here, and that's what's really exciting to see. Because a lot of our engineers really do it not only just because it's a good paying job, but it's a very rewarding career. It's our way of being able to participate in building communities, making them more sustainable, more resilient, better quality of life. And so these kinds of careers are important to our local kids, as well as any of our graduating engineers, to really kind of fulfill themselves in knowing that they're a part of something bigger.
And as Sean Umeda wraps up his undergraduate work at UH Manoa, he's preparing to participate in the Viceroy Maven internship program powered by P3I. It's an immersive intensive that provides college graduate and graduate students hands-on experience in cyber spectrum technology, working on Department of Defense mission-relevant projects.
So Viceroy is a national program. They're part of our Office of Secretary of Defense's sponsored program. They are based in Rome, New York. Last year, we had the privilege of sending 2 Hawaii students right to that program. They were rock stars, right? They clearly held their own. And because of the success there, we were given this opportunity to host our own summer program, right? 15 students, Hawaii students, as well as another 15 students that will be in each of the commands, right? Focused on very specific problem sets.
Umeda is honored and excited to be participating this summer.
I think the thing that I'm most looking forward to is the connections and the networking that I will be able to do. I say this because I think a lot of where I am right now is thanks to these mentors and these people who have supported me.
Engagement with students needs to start early in their education so they have the opportunity to pursue those foundational courses and projects that allow them to develop the necessary foundational skills.
Chester C.J. Mayshag is a director of cyber science and technology research and academic outreach for the DoD at the Pentagon. He expects students like Umeda to perpetuate Hawaii's track record at Viceroy and follow in the impressive footsteps of last year's Hawaii representatives.
I had the privilege of meeting Jackson and Kyla and spending time with them when they piloted our Viceroy Maven internship in Rome, New York. They're remarkable individuals who represented the youth of the Aloha State with distinction last summer. Right away from the first handshake, I was impressed with their exceptional communication skills and positive spirit. They made friends quickly and developed a professional network among other Mavens in Rome, New York. They were also natural self-starters with great technical abilities and appreciation for the role of cybersecurity in our everyday lives. They are probably some of our strongest ambassadors for the program nationwide.
Which explains why Mayshag has his eye on Hawaii's rich talent pool.
As a member of the DoD's Chief Technology Office, I need that talent. I needed to invent, to build, to test, and deploy these new capabilities that will serve to continually keep the DoD on the cutting edge. The development of a strong talent pipeline in the Indo-Pacific region is crucial for residents of Hawaii, ensuring economic growth, job security, career satisfaction. P3 and Viceroy help to accelerate that relationship. In partnership with DoD, Hawaii defense industry is passionate about unleashing the potential of its promising young talent.
The DoD's Defense Innovation Unit in Hawaii also applauds programs like Viceroy.
Students have an opportunity to apply their technical skills with real-world scenarios. They are paired with mentors who are subject matter experts. Hawaii's location makes it a critical hub for U.S. defense operation in the Indo-Pacific region.
DIU's Gloria Chu says collaboration with initiatives such as P3I and UH Manoa's Engineering 401 course is enabling the unit to tap into speed, creativity, and the potential of the commercial sector to solve critical national security challenges.
The University of Hawaii conducts cutting-edge research in areas such as oceanography, climate science, data science, cybersecurity, and connecting research with military needs and collaborating with the private sector. Hawaii becomes a hub for dual-use technology development with military and civilian applications. So these collaborative efforts help to build a skilled local talent pool tailored to defense and tech industries in order for us to keep high-value jobs within the state and then create a career pathway for our students and residents.
The Pacific Intelligence and Innovation Initiative, or P3I, is developing the workforce of tomorrow in Hawaii. It is building the next generation, building readiness for U.S. Army Pacific to safeguard national security in the Indo-Pacific region.
P3I was created thanks to our congressional delegation to really look at opportunities for Hawaii young people, professionals, as well as the Guard, looking for opportunities for jobs in Hawaii in the defense sector.
Defense is the second largest economic driver in the state, outpaced only by tourism. Defense spending in Hawaii exceeds $7.9 billion, $5.3 billion for payroll alone, mostly spent in Hawaii, and $2.6 billion for contracts, half going to local companies.
And so there are many, many economic opportunities, right, which include like jobs, right, whether it's construction jobs, right, at the shipyard, or, right, P3I related jobs in IT and cyber and data.
There was a 42% increase in the number of jobs in the defense sector between 2018 and 2022. During that time, the #1 industry switched from construction to professional services, which is directly linked to the increase in the emerging industry of IT, cyber, data science, and intelligence. There was also a significant increase in contracting dollars, from about $820 million from construction to about $1,500 million in professional services.
So many of the jobs in the new defense sector are really focused, right, on cybersecurity or data analysis, right? So very white collar, and the most important thing is making sure young people know what that's about.
And that there are lucrative careers in the DoD that will allow young people to remain in Hawaii to raise their families.
I would say 5-6 years ago, many of the jobs we were looking to fill with Hawaii people, right, came from the mainland, right? They came in, they did their length of service, and they left. Maybe this is a small silver lining with our cost of living challenges, right? It provides an opportunity for our own young people to stay and to work and to get good jobs. So kind of crossing the line, making sure that we have these billets for these young people and making sure that they have a pathway.
And that's just one more reason P3I is building on the success of summer programs like Viceroy.
So Leeward Community College is another effort, right, to be focused on our high school students and making sure that they know that there are opportunities in the defense sector or just in the IT and cybersecurity sector. We hope to have maybe 20 or 25 high school juniors and seniors from that region, right, to the west side, right, all the way to Aiea. They will do like a 6-week course. We'll do some excursions with them. And at the end of the course, we hope that they each will walk away with 3 college credits. We're going to continue to focus, if not increase opportunities for high school students, right, to get an early start on college. The proof is in the pudding with the number of students we actually put in jobs.
To Jennifer Sabas, co-executive director for P3I, it's about building the confidence of Hawaii's youth and showing them the way to the workforce of the 21st century.
And as you know, right, I had the amazing opportunity to work for Senator Inouye, and one of his gifts to me was self-confidence. And so when we talk with students, right, we want to make sure that, one, they know that they're smart, they're tough, and they're good enough to take any job that is offered to them, right, if they have the opportunity and they have the training. So I think that's how we marry the two together.
And just like the shipyard provided lifelong careers for past generations, the intelligence and cyber sectors are now the new frontier for high-paying, meaningful jobs in Hawaii. The future of Hawaii's workforce is already here. The question is, will we seize the opportunity?
Live, Work, Stay Hawaii. Readiness Starts Here is brought to you by P3I, the Pacific Intelligence Innovation Initiative.